I am sent all kinds of crazy ass decks, and it never surprises me with what is sent in my inbox, guys. So we're going to be looking at a deck list that was sent to me by Cooper Crabtree, and this is pretty impressive. We're also going to be tacking on Evil True Draco deck profile that got 45th place at the Fort Worth Regional a couple weeks back. It was sent in to me. I wanted to make sure that I could cover it, but I didn't really have a place to put it. So we're going to combine these two together. But we're going to talk about this oddity here. So Cooper wanted to mess around with the concept of trying to play Cyberdarks in a way that would make them, I guess, acceptable in the community, and I definitely found this to be pretty interesting. I'm not disappointed in the attempt he made here. I think some of the card choices could be a little bit better. Unfortunately, you are essentially relying on Future Fusion in this point in time. In the current format, you have to remember during the first standby phase after this card's activation, we now get to dump. It's not on immediate activation. The original problem with this card was literally you got to dump right away, but that was too broken. Combo decks would just feed into that, and that's something that you just can't have in today's format. So having to change that, we also do get access to the Protoplan engine in this deck. He definitely has made it clear that we are not going to... We have to play more bricks. Like, it's unfortunate, but I have to play the 2 Darling Cobra and the 2 copies of the Garnet. Now that we can't hard draw this, essentially, we kind of have to loop around things, which is going to make life a little bit harder for us, but honestly, it's not even that it's that big of an issue. So what's going on in this deck? What are we attempting to do here? So we're still attempting to produce a board and use the abusable effect of Cyberdark Dragon. So it is 5 Cyberdark effect monsters. Must be first fusion summon. If this card is special summon, we can equip 1 dragon or 1 machine monster from a graveyard to this card. This card gains attack equal to the original attack of the equipped monster. When the opponent's monster... When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, so one equipped card you control the graveyard to negate that activation if you do destroy that card. But we are putting a lot of faith in this guy to be able to stick on the board and produce results effectively is what we're trying to do. So by doing that, we're playing a Rocket engine. So Anesthetic Rokket is our big level 1. He is 0/22. When the monster effect is activated, targets his face-up card quick effect. We can destroy this card and make 1 face-up monster on the field unable to attack. Also, its effects are negated. And then during the end phase, standard effect, we get to special summon a Rocket. So 2 copies of that. We play the triple copies of the Auto Rocket Dragon. When a Link monster effect is activated, targets this card, destroy this card. Then we get to send a spell and trap card to the graveyard. And then we get to, during the end phase, go ahead and float once again. Pretty standard for what we're trying to do with this deck. Then we have the triple copies of the Cyberdark Cannon. If this card is sent to the graveyard, while equipped to a monster, we can draw a card. And then we can only use each effect of this guy once per turn. So we can discard this card to add 1 machine Cyberdark monster from our deck to the hand, or during damage calculation, if a equipped monster with this card battles, we can send 1 monster from our deck to the graveyard. It's actually pretty cool. I didn't realize it was actually a generic dump for this deck. We have triple copies of the Claw. If this card is sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster, we can target a Cyberdark monster in our graveyard and add it to our hands. So we do get recurability. We can discard this card to add a Cyberdark spell card from our deck to hand, or trap card. And then during damage calculation, if a monster equipped with this card battles, we can send 1 monster from our extra deck to the graveyard. Hey, 5-headed dragon. How are you, buddy? I like having 7k bodies on board. We play the triple copies of Cyberdark Edge. This is the original. If this card is normal summoned, we can target a level 3 or lower dragon monster in our graveyard, equip that target to this card, and this card gains attack equal to the original attack of the equipped monster. This card can attack directly. If it does use this effect, its attack is halved. If this card on the field be destroyed by battle, we can destroy the equipped monster instead. And of course, we have the 2 copies of Cyberdark Dragon. If this card is normal summon, we target a level 3 or lower dragon monster in the graveyard, equip it to this card. This card gains attack equal to the original attack of the equipped monster. And if this card attacks defense of a monster, we get trample. And of course, we can detonate the equip. And then 2 copies of the Keel. Same thing, normal summon equip. If this card destroys opponent's monster by battle, we get to ping our opponent for 300. This card's kind of power crept for its age, honestly. Then we have the 1 copy of the Electromagnetic Turtle. Triple copies of Lone Fire Blossom because we want to get to our combo. Then we have the triple copies of the Magna Rocket. This lets us send a monster on the field to the graveyard and still float during the end phase. 1 copy of the Damage Juggler to absorb any sort of bad blows. 2 copies of Hat Tricker. 1 copy of the Trick Clown. 2 copies of Darling Scorpio and the triple Orthoscorpio. Then we have the 2 copies of the Bricks. Of course, gotta have them. It's just not a fun day in paradise without them. 1 copy of Brilliant Fusion. Triple copies of Called by the Grave. Now, we do play the the 2 Cyberdark Infernos. So Cyberdark effect monsters you control that are equipped with an equipped spell card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects. And then we can target 1 Cyberdark monster we control, return it to our hand. Immediately after this effect resolves, we can normal summon 1 Cyberdark monster. You can only use this effect of Cyberdark Inferno once per turn. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, we can add a Polymerization spell card or Fusion spell card from our deck to our hand. What a fucking awkward day when we can somehow get our opponent to bait out kill the Inferno and search for Brilliant Fusion. Or Future Fusion. We also have the triple copies of Future Fusion, like I said, and then the 1 copy of the Overload Fusion, which this card's sole purpose is to be able to feed into the Dark Dragon. We have 2 copies of Pot of Desires for combo starting, and then the 2 copies of Quick Launch also to start our combo through Rockets. 2 copies of Twin Twister. Then we have the triple copies of Crackdown, 1 Solemn Judgment, triple Solemn Strike, and the 1 copy of Solemn Warning. Down here in the extra deck, we have 1 Pentastag, 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Cerberus, 1 Borreload, and 1 Boral Guard. We have 1 Exciton Knight, 1 Castel, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 copy of Omega, 1 copy of Chimera Aphasia, 1 Seraph Knight, 1 5-headed Dragon, 2 copies of Ints, and 1 copy of Cyber Darkness Dragon. Side deck here we have 2 copies of Artifact Lancia, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, triple Prankatops, 2 copies of Seer Mode, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Raigeki, and triple Evenly Matched. Wrapping up this fantastic list from Cooper. Like I said, give this a shot. I love cool little concept theories like this. Honestly, things like this are what keep my interest in the game, and I'm not disappointed to just see really fucking cool things like this come out of the woodwork. Like, once again, concept theory, you might not like it, you might. As long as it keeps your interest, that's all that matters. Now, I did promise you guys that we had an Evil Eye list coming out of the Fort Worth Regional, getting 45th place. Now, I don't ever think this deck ever does better than X3, it seems, but I still like to talk about this because conceptually, it really does have a chance to do things. And even though the Evil Eye engine is pretty small for what this deck really kind of wants, it's not a bad thing, honestly. So, we have the 1 copy of Dynamite, triple copies of Ignis Heat, 1 copy of Majesty Maiden, triple copies of Cerziel, the Watcher of the Evil Eye. Then we have triple copies of Carta Demizo, triple copies of Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix, triple copies of Dragonic Diagram, 2 copies of Evil Eye's Domain. Then we have just 2 copies of the Evil Eye Slain, 2 copies of Duality, 2 copies of Terraforming, triple copies of True Draco Heritage. Then we have 2 copies of Crackdown, 2 copies of the Evil Eye Retribution, triple copies of Lose One Turn, 2 copies of There Can Only Be One, triple copies of Apocalypse, and 1 copy of the True King's Return. Down here in the extra deck, we have 1 Rusty Tin Can, 1 Shizuku, 1 Hayate, 1 copy of Saruja, 1 Salman Great Sunlight Wolf, 1 Link Karibo, 1 Phoenix, 1 Mermaid, 1 Cerberus, 1 Isolde, 1 Heavy Metal Throws Electromite, 1 Galtea, 1 Volcasaurus, 1 Dante, and 1 Thunder Dragon Colossus. We have 2 Scythe in the side, along with triple copies of Ghost Reaper, triple copies of Artifact Sanctum, 1 2 Different Dimension Ground, triple Evenly Matched, and 2 copies of Heavy Storm Duster. Wrapping up this list. But like I said, honestly, the deck itself isn't even that bad, and honestly, Evan, you did a fantastic job piloting this, man. Like, 45th place, still fucking a pretty good finish for this deck, especially since people have been pushing this concept for a little while now. I don't know if we just haven't got the right ravioli down for the Fomioli. It kind of depends on where we're going, I guess, in the future of the format, if this deck continues to be on the bubble. But to those of you that are still continuing to try to innovate this deck, I honestly salute you. I want to see success with this, guys. So what do you guys think about these two lists? Please leave a comment down below. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on them. And well, guys, I'm out. Peace. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.